Welcome to my school. My name is Teacher Lillian, and I'm going to take you through our English lesson. And in our English lesson, we are going to look at the words we use to describe objects. We are looking at, as our topic, describing people and objects. That's our topic. We are looking at the words we use to describe people and objects. And today we are looking at the words we use to describe objects. So our topic today, our lesson is describing objects. Our lesson, we are going to look at the words we use to describe objects. But before we look at the words we use to describe objects, we need to know, what do we look at when we are describing objects? Remember, we are looking at adjectives, the words we use to describe something, to describe objects, to describe people. And why do we describe? We describe so that we can appreciate how everything was created and how it was made. Now, what do we consider when we are describing objects? First of all, when we are describing objects, we consider the size. We look at the words which talk about the size of the object. For example, big, small, like for example our box here. When you look at this one here, you can describe it as a small box, but this one, you describe it as a big box from that one. We have very many which are small, so we are looking at the size using big and small. 2, we also look at the shape of the object. Which shape? For example, we have our objects here. This is a tin. The shape is rectangular. We look at the shape and we describe the object. We also have another tin here. This one here, it is a cylinder shape. So we describe it using the shapes of the object. We also have the boxes, the squared, the rectangular, and so on. Yes, that's okay. We also describe our objects looking at the color of the objects. It also helps us to get the adjectives to talk about the object. For example, I have my cups here. This is a white cup. We are looking at the color of the object. I also have a red cup, so we can describe as this is a white cup and this is also a red cup. We also have another cup here. This is a blue nice cup with flowers, so we are describing a blue cup. We are using description using the color. I have my book here. I can describe it as a yellow book. And also this one as a blue book. Let's continue. We can also describe objects considering the purpose. What is that object used for? What is it used for? What is the purpose? For example, this one here, it can be a sugar tin. You can put your sugar here, or it can be a biscuit tin. Then this one, you can call it, the purpose is, this is a dustbin. You describe it as a dustbin. And also this box here, you can describe it as maybe a stove box. That is the purpose. And so on and so on. That's how we keep on describing the objects. And also, there are so many reasons. Now this one here, let's put it here. the material. You can describe the object looking at the material, how it was made. Yes, I still bring my boxes. This is call it a paper box. A paper box. This one also we call it a metallic tin. This is a metallic tin, and also this one is a metallic tin, a table, a wooden table, and so on. We describe it following the material. We continue. The origin. Where was that object made? Where was it made? The origin. For example, my box here, when you look at it, there's something like made in China. So we know this is the box from China, the origin. You cannot tell somebody, give me the Chinese box, or give me the Chinese cup. If it was made from China, you call it or Ugandan cup, or Kenyan or Kenyan book. So we look at the origin of the object, and then we describe it using that name. Yes, we have another one here. Opinion. What do you have to say about that object? What's your opinion about that box? You can say, it's a good box. It's a nice cup. It's a nice cup. Or it is a soft tin, or it's a hard tin. Something like that. Use the opinion about the object, and then you'll be able to describe them. We have tried to get the background of the way we can try to describe the objects. Using the words to describe them, we consider the size. We also consider the shape of that object. After looking at the size, you can also consider the color of the object. What is the color? Yes, before we continue, let's go for a short break. We shall come back and we'll continue with our describing words or objects.
Time now for Fan Fact.
Yes, my friends, welcome back from that short break. Let's continue with our lesson. I'm Teacher Lillian once again, taking you through our English lesson. And in our today's lesson, the topic, we are describing people and object. And today's lesson, we are looking at the words we use to describe objects. But before we look at the words we use to describe objects, we are trying to look at what do we consider in order to describe the objects, in order to get the adjectives which help us to talk more about the objects. Now, we said we look at the size. For example, our materials there, some of them are big, others are small, others are long and short. So those are the sizes we are looking at. Two, we looked at the shape. How are they shaped? Others are squared, others are rectangular, and the oval, and so on. So that's how we describe the objects. Three, we look at the color. What's the color of your book? The color of my book is a blue book, a yellow book, a red tin, a white cup. We are looking at the color. Also, we looked at the purpose. As we describe our objects, we need to know the purpose of each object. For example, we can look at our cups. What's the purpose? It is a cup which we use for taking tea. That's the purpose. So you can describe it as your tea cup, or your coffee cup. And also the book. What is the purpose? You can call it my notebook or my summary book, and so on. So you are trying to describe giving us the purpose of the object. We also continued to look at what we consider when we are describing objects. We looked at the material. What is the material of the object you want to describe? For example, this one we said, it's a metallic tin. That's the material. We also looked at the boxes. These are paper boxes. This is a wooden table. So we are trying to describe it using the material. We also looked at the origin. We have to look at the origin when you're describing the object. Where was it made? Where did it come from? So you can call it, we looked at the box because it had the name there, and we say a Chinese box. You can call it a Ugandan cup, Kenyan book, and so on. So that's where it originated from. If there are very many and you want to pick up one, you can use the origin to identify the particular one you want. That's how you can describe your objects. Then lastly, we looked at the opinion about those different objects. For example, how do you see your objects? You can say, it's a good tin, doesn't last, doesn't make things rot, so you call it a good book. That's your opinion. You can call it maybe a bad box, it's not strong. That's a bad box. You're describing it using your opinion, maybe after using the object. You can also call it an emotional, maybe book. When you read it, really you get emotion. So that's your opinion. You can describe it using those words. So we are going to continue, and we'll look at some of the words we can use to describe the objects after looking at what we have to consider in order to get our adjectives. And remember, objects, those are not living things. They are not living. So in order to describe them, we are supposed to use what we have already looked at. Our first one, size. We have a small one here. You can say big. You can say big. In looking at the box, the size, you say big. Big box, big house, big tree, big chair, big table. We are describing the objects following the size. We have also another small word here, which we are going to look at, that is rectangular. Rectangular shape. We are going to look at this one here, and so that we can learn how to spell them, how to write them, and then we know how to describe objects looking at the shape. And also, we should also have another color. Maybe let's look at our books, our cups, and we say maybe red. You can use the color as red. We are looking at the color of the object. And also purpose. You can say sugar tin. We call it sugar tin. We have given the purpose of our object. So if I say, can bring me a sugar tin, I don't expect you to bring me a salt tin or a soap tin. You have to bring me the sugar tin. I'm trying to describe the objects which I'm looking for. Then material. We call them paper box, metallic, and so on. So we can use any. But before we write our material, let's go for a short break. We shall come back, and then we'll continue with our words.
Spell it out.
Yes, children, welcome back from that short break. Yes, before you went for your short break, we are looking at the words we use to describe objects. And before we looked at the words we use to describe objects, we are trying to look at what we consider in order to describe the objects. We say, when we are describing objects, those are not people. We are describing things which are not living. And what do we consider? We consider the size of the object. We also consider the shape. How is it shaped? You know the shapes of rectangle, circle, oval, and so on. We also consider the color. What's the color of the objects you're talking about if you want to describe it? For example, a car, you're talking about a white car. You're talking about a red car, and so on. And also, we look at the purpose when you want to describe. For example, you can call it a sugar tin, a dustbin, and so on. You are describing the purpose of the objects. That's how you can get the adjective to describe it. We also looked at the material. Which material was it made from? We looked at our boxes. We said these are paper boxes, and so on. We also looked at the origin. There are so many things somewhere. I want you to pick for me one. I have to describe it for you using the origin or considering the origin so that you will be able to pick it out. We have so many things, and many of them, where they were made, it is written on, so you can use that. And also, the last one, we look at the opinion. How do you consider that object? Is it a good one? Is it a bad one? Is it a nice cup? Is it a long? And so on. You describe it using your opinion. So from there, we continued by getting some examples of the adjectives. Of the adjectives from what we consider. For example, size, you can say big. Big. Shape, you can say rectangular. I'm looking at that rectangular shape. Color, we have our cups. You say a red cup, a white cup, an orange house, and so on. So you look at the color of the object and then you describe it so that you can get it properly. We also looked at the purpose. It can help us to describe the object. Which purpose? That tin, what is it used for? It's for sugar, for dustbin, it's for my money. I keep my money there, so I describe it using its purpose or considering what I use it for. We also looked at the material. So let's get which material. We said, for example, our things, we can say paper box. Paper box. The box I'm talking about, which is the noun, I'm trying to describe, it's made of paper. If not paper, you can say it's made of metallic. It's a metallic tin, or it's a wooden table, and so on. We have very many. And also, let's continue and we'll look at the origin. Most of the things we use in our houses, most of them come from China. So you can say Chinese cup, or you can say Ugandan cup, or Kenyan book, and so on. So let's say Ugandan cup. That's where it came from. That's the origin. So the opinion. What's your opinion? Is it a good book? You can say it's maybe a hard wood. You can describe it using that. After using it, you can use anything. You can use smooth, rough, soft, and so on. So those are the adjectives which we can use, or which we can look at as we describe our objects. Now, we continue after we have spelled our words. The first one is B-I-G. We are describing the adjective word. This one here, from the word rectangle, then you get rectangular. You spell it as RECTANGULAR. We go to our word, which is very easy. Red. We are trying to get the color. RED. We are spelling them. You can spell anything here, and so on and so forth. Let's construct our simple sentences. Construct sentences using the given words. Begin. It is, and so on. Who is giving us the first sentence? Using the word big. Thank you. Let's get the first sentence, and we say, first sentence, you are going to use the word big. You say, it is a big. Remember, we are describing the nouns. Which nouns? We are looking at the objects in particular. So you can put any name of any object at the end there. So you say, it is a big house. It is a big house. You are describing it. Let's get our second sentence. Using the word rectangular. You say, it is rectangular. Anything here? Let's use the word box. We are describing this box following its shape. Let's get our third sentence. Somebody giving it to us. Red. Any red color? You know red color is one of the colors which girls like most. Red and the pink. So you can say, it, you expect a good answer from the girls. You say, it is a red dress. It is a red dress. Which dress were you given? I was given a red dress, so it is a red dress. Let's look at our number 4. You say, it is sugar tin. In our case, the word sugar stands for the purpose of that object you are using. So we say, it is a sugar tin. Remember, children, always to end your sentences with a full stop. And remember to begin with a capital letter and you end with a full stop. Our next one, our number 5, we can complete or we can stop anywhere. So long as you have understood what we are trying to describe and the categories we are using to describe our objects. So you can write more sentences, beginning, following the instruction which the teacher has just given, and remember always to follow the instruction. If they say, begin, it is, begin it like that, you'll be able to understand what the teacher wants. So you'll be able to construct more sentences on your own, following that instruction. Yes, thank you for being with me in my school. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Let's meet next time. God bless you.
Sarah says,
do not mock or tease others.
that's all, kids. Bye-bye.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Senchu points when you deposit, send, and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Hello everyone, welcome to my school. I'm teacher Judith and I want to teach you mathematics. In our previous lesson, we looked at how we can write figures in words, and we are continuing with the same topic, but this time we want to learn how we can write the words in figures. Writing words in figures. We want to learn how we can write words in figures. And our first example says, write 18,045 in figures. Write 18,045 in figures. How do we write 18,000 in figures? We write 18,000 as that is 18,000. And how do we write 40? 40 is written as that, and then that is 40. Then you want to write 5. Keep the place values. We have the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s. After you've arranged your numbers like that, add together. When we add these numbers, we are going to get 5 here. We shall get 4 here. 0 plus 4, you get 4. And 0 plus 0 here, we have 0. 8 plus 0 is 8. And 1 plus 0 is 1. Count 3 place values, 1, 2, 3. Put your comma here, and that is our answer. 18,045. 18,045 in words is this, and in figures it is 1, 8, 0, 4, 5. 18,045. 18,045. Let's look at another one. It says, write 6,660 in figures. Write 6,660 in figures. So how do we write 6,000? We write 6,000 in figures as 6,000. Then we have 600. That is 600, 6,000, 660. That is 60. After that, we are going to add our numbers together. When you add here, under the ones, that is tens, hundreds, and thousands. We shall get 0 here. 0 plus 6, you get 6. 0 plus 6, you get 6. And 6 plus 0, you get 6. So our answer is 6,660. 6,660. 6,660. It is written in words as 6,660, and in figures, that is our answer. This is our answer. Remember, we are writing words in figures. We first wrote figures in words. Now we are changing from words to figures. Let's go for our break. We shall continue from there when we come back.
Time now for Fan Fact.
Welcome back, children, from your break. I hope you've enjoyed your break. Before you went for your break, you were learning how to write words in figures, changing words to figures, and we had already looked at some examples here. We said that you break up your words and turn them to figures, after which you have to add together to get the number in figures. After we've looked at these examples, I want to give you a short activity, and I swear that you can try it out. Write the following words in figures. Number 1 says, write 44,444 in figures. Write 44,444 in figures. Number 2 says, write 15,090 in figures. Our number 1 was saying, write 44,444 in figures. 44,000 . That is 44,400. That is 400. We have 40. Write 40 here. And 4. So we are going to add our numbers together. We shall get 4 here, another 4 here, 4, 4, 4. Our answer is 44,444. 44,444. 44,444. Let's go for another break. We shall continue from there when you come back.
Let's have some fun with numbers. So what's the answer, kids?
Welcome back, children, from your break. I hope you've enjoyed your break. Before you went for your break, we were learning how to write words in figures. We had looked at several examples, and I had decided to give you an activity, and this is number 1 of our activity. Our answer, we've got 44,444. We want to try more others. Write 60,005 in figures. Write 60,005 in figures. Write 89,900 in figures. So our number 2, write 60,005 in figures. How would we write 60,000? This is 60,000. And how do we write 5? We write 5 as that. We are going to add Remember, we start from the ones, we go to tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s. 0 plus 5, you get 5, and 0 plus 0 is 0. You may put 0 as placeholders, or you may leave them out. And 0 plus 0 is 0. Here we get 0, and we have 6. 1, 2, 3. That is 60,005. 60,005. And in our last activity, write 89,900 in figures. How do we write 89,000? And how would we write 900? That is 900. Remember, we are writing 89,900 in figures. Let's add up this and get our answer. Zero plus 0, you get 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 9 is 9. And 9 plus 0 is 9. 8 plus 0 is 8. 89,900. 89,900. We have been learning children how to write words in figures. I want you to go home and do more practice in both changing from words to figures and from figures to words. Thank you for following. Goodbye for now.
Sarah says,
Respect your elders at all times.
that's all, kids. Bye-bye.
It has been 5 fruitful years of activity, legislation, collaboration and networking for the 10th Parliament.
That I will at all times well and truly serve the Republic of Uganda. That my role as Deputy Speaker will be continue to execute with utmost diligence assignments given to me by the Speaker and this August House.
99% of the people told me not only to touch the Constitution, but touch the Constitution and touch and squeeze this Article 102B out of the Constitution.
We must have enacted over 100